Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV.
And I'm Darron Cunningham in Albany, Louisiana, and started in the mid-'80s buying and selling horse-drawn vehicles. And I guess a hobby got out of control. So
Perfect.
that's where we at. My kids were running up and down the hallway of the barn one day with their little dump trucks up there. Of course, they're both grown now with kids of their own, but my dad said, this is a happy little hill here. And I was at a sale barn one day, and the guy was talking about happy hills. He said, there ain't no hills in Louisiana. I said, well, we live, got a little creek there, so we got a few little hills, not much, but. We try to keep a pretty wide assortment of vehicles. We sell a good many of the Pioneer carts. When we can get them, now that they're out. And I hadn't really got in contact with some of the new companies now.
Right.
So we still buy a good many of the old Pioneer carts.
Sure.
We pick them up at sales, or somebody want to trade one in on a different vehicle.
Yeah.
The little bikes here, we don't use them much in this part of the country, but we use them to train. So when we train in single horses, I pick them up at the sales, and we'll work them. They're singles, and they don't cost a whole lot. So I guess if you wreck one, it ain't that big a deal.
Yeah, and the horse don't really know what's behind you, does
No,
it?
now on the one, like, as I build them, let's see, mine's up here, this little raggedy one here, but I keep a chain on it. So
okay,
then
so you can drag a tire.
I can drag a tire. I keep a pickup truck tire and a freight truck tire and a tractor tire, and
that helps.
then you can drag them.
Yeah.
And it's small enough you can go like in the round pen.
Right.
And work them around. You don't get into problems.
Right.
This barn here is kind of where things come in, and most everything in here needs to go through the shop before it goes up into the other barns, and some of it's just overflow also, but
sure,
about everything back here needs to go through the shop. This is a neat piece we just got.
This is a livestock wagon?
A livestock wagon. It come from the Amish, an estate sale. Yeah, nice heavy wagon.
It is.
We just got off a show and they needed 3 or 4 of them, so we built an extra 1 or 2.
It's got nice springs on it.
Yes. Yeah, they was actually still using it, and it went through an estate sale.
Okay.
Or one of the farm sales,
And so you say you just got this hearse in?
This hearse just came in. It come from one of the plantations down the river in South Louisiana.
And you're going to fix this up?
The people was actually going to get rid of it, and they put it on the internet, and I went and got it. Yes, sir, we're going to try to put it back in working condition.
It's gorgeous.
We've only had it a few weeks, but to me, like all these old pieces, if you just sit there and look at it, you just got to admire the workmanship in these things.
Right.
It's like
they didn't have to do this, you know?
And with all of our modern equipment, we can't really duplicate that.
Right.
You have to almost go to the vintage tools to duplicate this stuff.
You're right. You're exactly right. Yeah.
We don't do a lot of the high-end restoration stuff. We normally, just fix them up a little and then get the wheels redone and different things.
Part of your aim is to be authentic.
We want it authentic, so
it shouldn't look brand new.
We don't want it to look brand new, and then normally I'm kind of the middle guy. I'll pass it on to the guy that wants to spend the money and put it back all original.
Sure. You can see the diamond in the rough, and you get it a little bit polished up, and then someone else can recognize it. This is terrific.
Yes.
It is just a really nice
It's
piece.
really a nice piece. When I first looked at it, I was like, I'm not sure if I want to fool with it. And then once I got it here and started going through it, it's pretty solid all the way around. So I've been taking a survey with everyone that comes through. Would you just paint it back and leave it in the old original condition, or would you try to put it back in the new condition? And pretty much everybody said, no, leave it like it is. Paint it and leave some of the cracks and things.
Right.
And so I think that's kind of what.
So they kept it inside.
It was kept inside. It was probably in a carriage house in one of those plantations.
That's terrific.
It has the curtain rods and
Yeah.
like this is brass or,
Yeah, it's
or
got a lot of
copper. And
Is that what it is, copper?
Uh-huh. Or brass. I guess it's probably brass. But it's actually wood on the. It's just a little cove. It has wood on the inside.
That is something.
And that's another thing. It had the pieces, all the little pieces that's missing with it. So
And this slides for the coffin.
it does.
Yeah, that's that's terrific. Very nice.
And it has a wood roller in the back.
Yeah, that's great.
We go to sales. I try to buy anything that we don't have.
Are there fewer vehicles at sales now that the internet's kind of taken on so much?
Not as much that I've seen.
Okay.
Still a good many
Okay.
vehicles.
Is the log wagon?
A log wagon.
Wow.
I bought it from a guy. He was in the movie prop business also. And I was over there right after the 2016 flood. And I was there like in 2014. And it was there laying in the drip of the barn. And I said, I want to buy that 8-wheel wagon. He said, I'm not ready to get rid of it. I said, well, at least let me put it up under the barn out of the drip, because I'm going to buy it one day and I want it to be in pretty good shape. He said, that's good. So later I bought it. And then we restored it completely.
Have you loaded it up? Pulled it around?
I have. It's been, we sent it out to New Mexico for a movie, and then we had a movie here in New Orleans we used it on.
How many stock do you put on it?
We haven't even pulled it. We
Okay.
most of the time it's like
Just
in a
sitting still.
Ford or in the background.
Yep.
The ones that we did.
It's a monster.
Yeah. The guy I had an Amish guy help me. He did the restoration on it, and I think he said it weighed 2,500 pounds.
Empty.
Empty, yep.
In this impersonal digital age, Mishka Press calendars offer you a personal connection to the events in your life. There's nothing like recording appointments and family events in a paper calendar hanging on your kitchen wall and copying them to next year's calendar in December. Our wall calendars measure 12 inches wide and 19 inches tall, hanging on the wall. They are wire O-bound to hang flat and printed on heavy paper with large date squares. One calendar costs $17.95. Buy two for $32 and save. All calendar orders ship free in the USA. To order yours, call 319-362-3027 or visit www.mishka.com. That's 319-362-3027.
And then this is just a nice heavy original John Deere.
Yeah.
And like with the oxen, we use the ox wagons and then hay wagons. That hay wagon was funny. It had a steel wheel running gear underneath it. And I was at an auction, and I bought this running gear in one row, and they went around and come back by, and the hay wagon with the steel running gear was straight across the aisle. And I bought it, and I told the auctioneer, I said, resell the steel wheel
gear.
running gear under it. He said, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't know if I've ever sold a running gear out from under a body. I've sold many bodies off of running gears, but never the other way.
Right.
So, and I bought it, and sold the running gear. And we were all just standing there, so we grabbed a hold to it, like 20 of us, and just walked it across the aisle and put it on this running gear. So
It fits perfect. Pretty close.
Yeah, it fit perfect. They
That is
actually
a great
Canadian.
wagon.
They're Canadian, so those are 40-inch running gear. It's a 40-inch running gear.
Okay.
And down here we had mostly 42 and 38 running gear.
Huh.
But that Canadian gear was a 40-inch running gear, and it's a Reagan Massey or Massey Harris running gear. It still has the original writing on it.
Is that ox cart something you guys built?
No, it was on the internet. I
antique?
bought it out of Tennessee or Kentucky. We were needing one for a movie here in New Orleans, and
Great piece.
I seen it on the internet, so I went and picked it up for that show. It's a rock
Belly
wagon,
dump wagon.
dump wagon. A friend of mine in northern Indiana called me and he said, I got this nice dump wagon if you're interested. So I said, yeah, buy it. Try to buy it for me. Well, then I realized it's a long way to northern Indiana from Louisiana to pick up one wagon, but I wound up going to a sale up that way anyway, and he sent it down to the sale for me. And we just had the wheels reworked, and
Yeah. Yeah. Good tell.
it's all in good shape. We got a little bit of work to do under the front end. We'll take it in our shop and do all the work in the front end. Another John Deere running gear, box wagon.
Yep.
I guess we could start back here again.
Sure.
I guess that's just, I don't know. I guess this barn is more like the lighter vehicles, the carriages and buggies, and we have a little dog cart.
Yep.
And we buy, like I say, any kind of vehicle that looks a little different. This one had like a different spring system on it, like a coil spring type. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah. I've never seen one like this.
No, I've seen one other one.
Huh.
And it's funny, I have all these vehicles. I'm not really a historian. I don't know a whole lot about them. I know they're different. And so
It's fun to figure out what they were used for.
Used for, and then pretty much.
This would move along the road.
Oh, it's really nice. It rides really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too amazing, all these wagons. You just can come and study them and look at all the different different parts and
So
the
many,
workmanship. Every one of them's different. It's like they're gotta have their own character.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, there are so many companies, so many people building.
So many companies and
You think about all the horses that were put to these, and all the people that were riding on them, doing business.
and that's
traveling,
what's
visiting.
different too. I've went all over the nation buying vehicles, and so we get stuff from different regions. In this area, we didn't have a lot of the high-end vehicles probably as much. They had the box wagons and log wagons, and probably maybe a two-seater or something like that. And in our area, we fight a constant battle with rot and powder post beetle and termites, and so most everything has been destroyed,
Right.
in our area.
Right.
I pick at my family all the time. I went to auctioneering school in '90 in Kansas City, Missouri, and it was up there's auctions everywhere all the time, estate sales, and at 1 o'clock they have the estate sale, and then at 1 o'clock they shut down and have sell the property. So I pick at my family all the time, and I bought out a lot of different estates, and you go look at them, and then the family don't want to sell them. They wait 4 or 5 years, and it's degraded by then.
Yeah.
So I pick at my family all the time and tell them to, as soon as I pass away, go ahead and have a big estate sale, and they can shut down at 1 and have the funeral. And while they gone to the cemetery to put me in the ground, then they can, when they get back, everything will be sold. They had their money and be gone, be ready to go. But I don't know. It's funny though to aggravate them about it.
You get people calling you up telling you they're looking for this, that, or the other thing, and you just keep an eye out for it?
We keep an eye out for it, and like if I go, when I'm going to sales, I'll order by, I guess. It would be the term.
Okay.
If someone's hunting like a vis-a-vis, when I get to a sale, if I find it, then I'll either get a price and kind of send them pictures, and with the internet and stuff now, it's so much better.
Yeah, right.
And then when it goes across the block, I can buy it for them, and then I just charge a percentage to bring it home for them, buy it and bring it home. And most cases, it's like, okay, if you see it and you don't like it, I'll keep it anyway.
Right, right. So this is a horseless carriage.
A horseless carriage. My brother was fooling with the pulling lawnmowers.
Okay.
Back in
competitive, yeah.
Like in the early 2005, 6, 7 and stuff. And we built him one. I was always a did the fabrication work, and he did the mechanical. And we put an engine motorcycle motor and a Chevrolet transmission. It had 24 forwards and 6 reverses. And it had electronic fuel injection motorcycle motor.
Wow.
So while we were building it, I said, I'm gonna build me a rail system and build me a buggy on it. So that's what
it's terrific.
I did. I put just a regular Briggs and Stratton engine. I didn't need an engine motorcycle motor to go so fast, my dad.
It doesn't sound like they did, probably. It doesn't go putt-putt.
Not as much. When it's idle down, it's not too bad. It don't sound quite as bad when it's idle down, but then when you idle it up, it sounds like a lawnmower. But when it's idle down, kind of sputtering, it don't do that.
You did a great job.
We had it built, and then we also built a back seat for it also, so you can take the racks off and put the back seat on it.
All right.
And then we put a lawnmower transaxle in it that gives us our transmission and brakes and everything. And then it don't have a safety feature, so you got to kind of bump the starter, make sure somebody didn't walk by and put it in gear when you crank it up.
and then that was just for fun? The
tiller, yeah. My dad actually started before he passed away. And then like a friend of ours gave us the cherry wood to build it out of. And nice. After my dad passed away, it got shoved in the corner back here, and it flooded. It had never been cranked at that time.
Wow.
And it flooded. So then when we were all off on COVID, my son played baseball, and he was here out of college, so he said, let's get that horseless carriage out and get it running. So we got it out, drained all the water out of the transmission, the motor, and got it ready to crank, but this motor has all the safety features on it. So I wound up taking it to the lawnmower shop and let them wire it and get it cranked and running. We got a pulley system on it, belt, because I wanted the motor down, so we had to put like a line shaft pulley in it.
Right.
That way, because the transmission comes out the top and the motor comes out the bottom, so I had to put a line pulley system in it. And then you can change the pulley sizes for your power. So that way, but with it like it is, it has plenty enough power to drive up a hill or drive it up on a trailer. And it still runs 10, 15 mile an hour probably, so it's plenty fast enough for to play around with.
Yes, sir. You ever take it in a parade or anything like that?
I haven't. We said we were.
Yeah.
But
we turn heads.
Yep. I just thought it would be neat too, because a lot of the movies we do is 1930s and stuff, so it's kind of horseless carriage, Model-A's, buggies, wagons, and that deal would probably fit right in. Yep. But so far it hasn't went on a movie. But we had people like the Pioneer cart, they trade them in on a four-wheel carriage.
Okay.
So that's a nice one. That's one of the last ones that Pioneer built. I think it was built in 22.
Okay.
So it has all the shafts and the tongue and.
Yep. Well, this is a pretty, you call this, what is this? Is this Surrey?
Just a little Surrey. And that's what I find from different regions. I guess they call them different things.
Yeah.
And
I'm never sure what to call them.
That's the way with me. I'm not sure exactly what to call them. I know on Facebook people get in arguments all the time about what this or that. And what I've learned working with different people in the different parts of the country and different regions of the country, they call the same things different names. So we just call it a little buggy,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
It's pretty old. I guess they didn't. The men didn't weigh 200 back then, and I guess probably back then the women weighed, you know, 100 pounds, and the men weighed 120. You know.
Yeah.
So it was a two-seater then, but
It's a beauty.
it's a nice piece.
The paint is nice on it.
The guy that I bought it off of, he was in the auto body business, so he probably restored it himself. Yeah, he restored it,
like
and then he put some curtains on it, different things.
Curtains is nice.
It comes down like a half cab.
Yeah.
This is kind of I would say a sister to that hearse back there. It's kind of made in the same era, same type wheels and things.
Well, it's
Either one has names on them, so I'm not sure, but
wow.
they have a lot of resemblance to each other. This is I think this one had a name. It was a Henselman and Brothers carriage, physician carriage they called it. It has a suicide doors or whatever.
That's great.
Then the front glass folds up, and you can actually take the side windows out, and they slide under the seat. They have a place to put those.
Wow. Boy, they were clever back then.
That was a Cadillac back in the day.
Yes, sir.
We had a movie in New Orleans, and we rented it, and I had to drive it about 10 or 15 blocks, about 12 blocks probably or so, and it really rides good.
Yeah, I love the cutouts for the lines.
Yep.
And it's to keep the rain off the windows.
Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a great piece.
Yeah, it's a really nice piece.
It's a beauty. Is that leather then on this side?
This is leather, or naugahyde or leather.
Terrific.
And the back folds up. I learned a valuable lesson. When I took it to New Orleans, I rolled the cover up, but I left the buttons. I didn't turn them, and it come untucked and fell down and got on there just.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.